Hello everyone, welcome. I am Claire Jones. If we haven't already met, I am the owner of Liminal Clarity and I am a productivity expert and change guide for growth that provides support and stability to the high-achieving women, visionaries, entrepreneurs, executives, educators out there who are in times of change, stress, and transformation like we all are right now, right? So I am jumping on today to talk about how to implement and prioritize financial processes that will efficiently streamline your time, money, and energy as a busy entrepreneur. So if you're catching me live or you're catching the replay, say hello, comment, tell us where you're tuning in from, and what your most pressing finance question is. Where do you tend to stick your head in the sand when it comes to your finances? But before I get into the nitty-gritty, I wanted to include a caveat. So I have had 15 plus years of small business experience and started my own entrepreneurial journey back in 2014. And every single week, there are members of my audiences and networks who come to me asking questions about softwares, systems, and strategies to use in their businesses. And I am more than happy to point them in the direction. But, and this is a very important but here, these systems, strategies, and softwares that you choose to use in your business are only going to be as effective as the internal personal development work that you choose to do as well. Because at the end of the day, personal development is professional development. They are one and the same. And so if you're interested in chatting about this more, please book a call with me. I'll put the link in the comments here. If you're catching me on YouTube, it's going to be in the description. But yeah, let's jump into it. So, did you know that 35.6% of business owners do not use accounting software? Did you also know that 27% don't have a separate bank account for their business? And 23% say they're worried about commingling personal and professional expenses. These statistics are exactly why setting up solid financial processes for your business is so important. If you don't, you are putting yourself at risk for being short on cash, facing unexpected tax bills, failing to claim business tax deductions, getting audited by the IRS, not being able to access capital like business loans, and not understanding your legal liabilities. I've seen way too many small businesses struggle to understand their financial situation, let alone stay on top of it. More often than not, these skill sets are something that is not within their zone of genius, and because it's in their discomfort zone, they tend to avoid dealing with it altogether. Remember when I asked, where do you stick your head in the sand when it comes to finances? This is what I'm talking about. Money is an emotional subject. And if math was not your favorite subject in school, it tends to get very overwhelming very quickly. But it doesn't have to be that way. There is the right systems and the right structures, and with them in place, it can even be easy. So is this calling to you? I'm sure there are a lot of you out there. If you're interested in chatting more about life and business and all that it entails, I am opening up 3 spaces to the women go-getters out there who want to have more fun and less stress while achieving their big goals. So book a call with me if you want to chat. So, where do we start? That's the big question. First things first, if you're part of the 27% who don't have separate business banking accounts, get yourself a separate business banking account. That is step number 1. I usually recommend going with a credit union because they typically have more accessibility, support, and perks for their members than big corporate banks, but that is a personal preference and you just find what works best for you. Again, prioritize user experience here and not just go with the first option available. Get both a checking and a savings account. The checking is going to be for your income and expenses. The savings is going to be for your tax money or any business savings. Some people even recommend getting multiple checking accounts, one for income, one for expenses, so on and so forth. But that's typically not necessary if you stay on top of your cash flow reporting. So this brings me to the second step. Create your initial cash flow report for at least 1 month leading up to opening day of your business and 12 months after opening day of your business. Month 0 should detail your starting financial position, including any startup costs or capital that are leading up to opening day. If you are setting these up after opening day, after you've launched your business, month 0 should detail your current financial position, including the cash that you currently have on hand, the debts that you currently owe, as well as any equipment, tools, or furniture that you've purchased exclusively for business use. It's basically a 13-month spreadsheet that details the business's financial position over time. This way we can predict how our cash position will look like on any given month. And this helps us better understand and plan for busy months, slow months, quarterly expenses, yearly expenses, big purchases, wages, tax payments, etc. You can find cash flow templates all over the internet. The Small Business Administration SCORE website has some great free downloadable templates, or you can purchase them from someone else like me or a bookkeeper. I sell them for $14, and it's just a simple Google spreadsheet that has a 13-month prediction template set up. So if you are starting your business from scratch, though, these numbers are going to be a bit of a guessing game. But it will provide you with an estimated picture of what kind of financial support your business is going to need in order to survive the first year or so. This is very, 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 very helpful when it comes to acquiring startup capital and funding. Whether you are funding the business yourself or seeking capital from another source, you need to have a clear idea of how much you are going to need. And this cash flow report is going to provide you with a clear picture of that. If you've already been running your business for a period of time, these numbers are typically going to be found in your bills, contracts, receipts, point of sale system, and credit card or bank statements. I recommend gathering copies of all of these in one place so that you can reference them easily as you go through your cash flow spreadsheet. Again, this is why keeping a separate business banking account and or credit card is super useful. Then you don't have to comb through all of your personal accounts to pick out those business expenses and income that commingle with everything else. So that leads us to the third step, which is setting up an accounting software to track revenue and expenses. So this kind of software is going to help you a ton when it comes to tracking the income and expense categories on your cash flow report on a recurring basis. It's going to help a ton when it comes to yearly tax time. Many software applications will provide you with all of the reports that your bookkeeper or accountant will ask for. Wave Apps is free, and it's great if your needs are fairly simple. FreshBooks and QuickBooks have different subscription levels. They all come preloaded with a default chart of accounts that makes getting started very easy. You can customize them later on. These 3 fundamental steps, setting up a business banking account, doing cash flow reporting, and having an accounting software, is going to get you set up foundationally. Once these are in place, then you can decide whether the maintenance tasks are something that you want to DIY yourself or delegate to someone else. And we talked about delegating in yesterday's Facebook Live. But do keep in mind that you'll want a certified CPA, bookkeeper, and or accountant to review the systems that you do put in place so that you can minimize your risk of missing something sooner rather than later. I actually have a recurring weekly task for updating my QuickBooks account every Friday afternoon. It's basically 15 minutes where I sit down and go through all of the week's transactions on QuickBooks, categorize them into their various categories, and then transfer my tax money over to my savings account. And that's pretty much it. Those are the fundamental business finance processes that are going to help you avoid a lot of trouble down the road. So if you're interested in learning more, or you have specific questions on any of the things that I've talked about today, or in this Facebook Live series in general, please book a call with me. For this Productivity for Entrepreneurs series in particular, I'm actually offering a secret, not so secret, menu intuitive AMA session where you can reserve some time on my calendar to ask me whatever burning questions that you have about life or business. You can choose between a free publicly recorded 30-minute session or a paid private 1-hour session. These free sessions are very limited. There are only a few that are opened up every 30 days, so DM me for the links if you're interested. And in the meantime, join me for one more Facebook Live tomorrow where I'll be diving into another aspect more deeply and providing practical tips, tools, and recommendations. I'll be jumping on tomorrow to chat about business plans. And until then, remember that your authentic self is extraordinary, it is wonderful, and you owe it to yourself to create the elevated life that you know you are capable of. Take care, everyone. Bye.